Hello again, faithful viewers. Chris with Chris Country here again. Doing my second blog of the day. It's a bit of a busy day, so that's why I'm in my jacket. A little bit cold out here today, too. I think we're still only in the 20s, going up into the 30s. Anyway, this second blog of the day, I'm going to do is on jobs. As we all know, not a whole lot of jobs here in our economy here for the U.S. A lot of, Congress keeps trying to come up with all these supposed ideas, things that they can do to help. I know everybody's got their opinions, but here's some of my opinions. Something we can do to fix our job situations back. Obviously, bring our jobs back. So many companies and industries have gone overseas. It's a lot of it, I think, part of it has to do with the booming economies. We know China's economy is getting up there. You get cheaper labor out there. It's cheaper to build whatever it is that you're wanting to sell. So naturally, a lot of companies have shipped themselves off overseas. The U.S. used to be very big on manufacturing, and we're just not anymore. But I really think if people want our economy to grow, that's what companies need to start doing, is trying to bring the jobs back. But to do that, it's kind of hard because we're competing with, like I said, we're competing with China, we're competing with overseas companies. So how do we bring our jobs back? First off, I think not only at like state and city levels, but also at federal levels, maybe we should look at incentives. An example would be when Intel came out to Colorado Springs back in the early 2000s. The main reason they came to the Springs was because the city, along with the school district, District 11, and a couple of the utilities companies offered incentives like, hey, we'll give you such and such a break on taxes for 5 years, and that's what brought Intel out here. And they set up shop, and things like that. But eventually, the incentives ran out, and they found it was cheaper just to sell off the plant because there was the plant that was there in the Springs was only making a specialty chip. I think it was like this flash memory chip for phone projects. I used to work there as a janitor. And unfortunately, Intel decided to sell that line to somebody else, and that somebody else happened to be over in Taiwan. So unfortunately, the plant got shut down, and there were, I think, about 2,000 layoffs by the time it was all said and done. Back to what I was saying, though, better incentives means incentives like that, except permanent. You don't want to try and bring a company back on a 5-year incentive because 5 years later, when the incentive sets, companies go bye-bye again, and that could have a negative impact. Also, I think a lot has to do with consumers. I know the economy's bad, we're trying to save a buck here and there, but I think one of the best things we can do is, when we can, buy something locally. Buy something that was made in the USA. Buy something that was made in your state. Or some people even have the opportunity to buy something that was made in their city. When you buy USA or when you buy locally, you're putting your money back into the local economy. You're not shipping it off to China or Taiwan. Granted, with the lack of manufacturing and everything else out here, it's hard to find stuff made in the USA, but it is still around. So if the opportunity arises, I say help your own nation out, help us grow, help that company that's trying to bring back jobs to the USA by buying USA products. And another idea, I've been working, it's been one of my little projects. I'm not sure if it'll ever take off. It might not. But one of my ideas is, in Colorado Springs, up until a few years ago, back in '09, we had a very robust city transit system. It was Mountain Metro. Well, it still is Mountain Metro, but they had I say we because I used to be a bus rider, but they had 3 express routes. They had a free downtown shuttle that would run up and down from, I think, Colorado to College all the way down to the K-Home Park and Ride. And we just had a crap ton of routes. I think we had 25, 30 routes almost. And it was just a lot. And we had a huge bus fleet. I know we had upwards of, I think we were knocking on about 100 coaches at the time. But then when the economy started to tank and the city council decided, well, they didn't want to fund the bus system anymore, it took a lot of touch. And not only was it just routes that we had, but we also had hours. We had bus service, weekdays, weeknights, Saturday, daytime and nighttime, and we had Sunday. And one of the biggest cuts we had was we lost our evening service, and they took away weekend service too. So for a long while, it was only weekday daytime bus service, and we just barely got Saturday bus time service back. Probably not even 6 months ago now. Probably 6, 8 months ago. About 6. But one of my ideas was to re-expand the bus system. Get it back up to the way it was, and better. I mean, right now, they have, Mountain Metro has about 46 buses. They run 17 routes, which includes the Fresh route. I came up, you can message me on Facebook or ask me on my comics page. I came up with this new route and system that would essentially it would basically, to run the system, we would have to buy 139 new buses, which you can do that with grants and everything else like that. But on a customer basis, it would add about 36 routes altogether. Well, 36 routes altogether on top of, it's 36 altogether. So 17 minus 36, which by the way, we have 17 routes now. But it would be about 36 routes overall for the entire system. But the main advantage is beyond all these routes, there will be a bunch of new, more transfer points again, but they will be different than they were back in 2009. But with so many buses and so many routes, we would have to also put up new garages. This translates to, we will be bringing construction jobs in because we have to build these garages, build transfer station points. It will boost the economy again because we're pumping money into the bus manufacturer. And personally, if we did expand it, I would hope whoever's running the bus system will continue to buy Gillig. Gillig buses are still made in the USA. They're made out in Hayward, California. I think it's Hayward. I think that's how you say it. But anyway, buy Gillig buses. We'd be building new garages, transfer points. And right there, we're already adding jobs. You need drivers. You need maintenance people to work on the buses. You need yard workers for these new garages. You need more administrative people. So right there, you're already adding more jobs back in your own local economy if we re-up the bus system. Not only that, bus systems promote growth and development. If you have bus system by and people can get to an area of town a lot better, then it promotes development. You might be able to get businesses to start coming back because they say, hey, they've got a robust bus system. Let's go ahead and put our company over there. So on top of that, not only do we have jobs from the bus company, but, we have jobs from people just coming back to the Springs. So re-upping our public transit system can only improve our economy. The main downfall to public transit is that there's no public transit system in the U.S. that makes a profit. All the public transit systems that are major rely on taxpayer dollars. But I'm pretty sure the citizens of Colorado Springs would rather see their taxpayer dollars, and in the PPRTA district, would rather see their tax dollars go into a more robust system than a system that's barely capable of being called a bus system. Public transit does, in my opinion, add to the economy. I don't think it subtracts it. But again, that's just my idea. Like I've been saying in my last few posts, I'm always open to new ideas. but these are my opinions. And things like that. Anyway, that's my brief spiel on jobs. I'm Chris for Chris Country. Again, feel free to comment on my videos, or you can visit my Facebook page, which is, of course, Chris Country. And as I always like to say, don't do anything I want to do, or if you do feel like flipping the cop, again, make sure you can outrun them, but you're going to need a lot of equipment to do that. Have a good one.